I'd like to invite Dr. Debra Patt to be with us at this point. Dr. Debra Patt is a practicing oncologist and breast cancer specialist in Austin, Texas, and the Executive Vice President of Texas Oncology with responsibilities in healthcare policy and strategic initiatives. She serves on the U.S. Oncology Research Breast Cancer Committee and chairs the breast cancer subsection of the Pathways Task Force. It's an honor to have you with us, Dr. Patt.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we would like to ask you, you and Dr. Patel have been working together over the last decade to provide access to care at a very affordable rate, which is so crucial to all cancer patients, both within your own ecosystem and across the U.S. Would you share with your challenges when you became an advocate for cancer patients, and particularly while speaking in front of senators and congressmen? How did you do that?
Absolutely, Sunita. So first of all, thank you for having me. And I also really enjoyed your performance. I thought it was so apropos, given how Kashyap has given us perspective in cancer care, especially multicultural perspective in cancer care. And you gave us multicultural entertainment, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have the good privilege of being friends with Kashyap and also standing arm in arm with him as we go to the United States government, the White House and the Senate and the House, with Barb and with Ted Okon, as we advocate for cancer care. And I will say that, cancer is quite common. I'm sure that there's no one on our book launch today that isn't familiar with cancer, because it's common in every country. In the United States, cancer affects 1 out of every 2 men and 1 out of every 3 women, so it's quite common. So everyone has some familiarity with cancer care, but we are acutely committed to giving people care to support them in their communities, and to help them thrive and have access to care in their communities. And so I'll say, Sunita, to your question of what do I struggle with as an advocate when I advocate on behalf of cancer patients, is that I find that politicians are often trying to do the right thing, but their perspective is quite different. And so I'm challenged by giving them perspective about how cancer physicians see the world, about how cancer patients see the world, and about how cancer caregivers see the world. And I will say that it's really important perspective, because we live in a remarkable time in cancer care where therapeutic innovation is groundbreaking and cancer mortality continues to improve. But we can't lose sight of the fact that people have really greater struggles, that people need access to care, that there are financial issues, that they really need to be well and be supported. And so I think it ties back really nicely to Dr. Kashyap's book, which is amazing. I'm trying to put it in front of me, it's blending with my background here. Because it not only talks about the incredible progress that we've made, but also, like Kashyap, really a 360-degree view of a person and the perspectives that cancer patients have and that cancer caregivers have about what is important through their journey, about, it's not about the money that you make or the benchmarks that you've achieved, but the perspective of knowing that you've been true to your cause, that you've been surrounded by the people that you love, that you've made peace with them, and recognizing that that is internal in terms of your wellness and mindfulness, but also that it is tied often to spirituality, frequently with many different religions. So I'll say that as a cancer specialist, and I went to school for like 27 years to be a cancer specialist, so there's a lot of cancer knowledge. I find frequently the perspective that we need to bring to our elected officials is that of what it means to be a cancer patient and a caregiver, to recognize those priorities so we can make sure to support people where they are. And I'm grateful to have advocates like Dr. Kashyap, like Dr. McEnany, like Ted Okon on that journey. And I'll say that everyone should read the book. It's wonderful and helps to give some of that great perspective of what people need when they're going through this journey.